Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. During our continuing coverage of the Idaho versus Kohberger case, in episode number 565, we noted that Judge Stephen J. Hippler rendered an order directing the defense to submit a redacted document for public view. This related to the defense's request to file documents under seal having to do with some medical testing of Mr. Kohberger that the state had requested. The court granted that request to file the documents under seal, but again, as we noted in episode 565, directed the defense to take an additional step, which the defense has now done. On April 14th, 2025, there appears a second filing of the same document. This document is published twice. It's published on the 10th of April when it was originally signed and filed by Ann C. Taylor on behalf of the defense, and it is published a second time on April 14th, 2025. The best guess that I can provide, an opinion that I provide, is that after Judge Hippler entered his order that we discussed in the prior episode of the Indie Zone podcast, the defense went ahead and filed this document a second time. It is entitled Defendant's Response to State's First Supplemental Request for Discovery regarding transfer of test materials. Page 1 comes now Brian C. Kohberger by and through his attorneys of record, and hereby submits their response to the state's first supplemental request for discovery as required by Idaho Criminal Rule 16 is the legal authority. We go now to page 2. Mr. Kohberger first responds that he has complied with discovery requests as experts as provided in the Idaho Criminal Rules. And if I could just interject here, Judge Stephen Hippler's October 9th, 2024 pretrial and trial order also had a section regarding exchange of expert witnesses, their disclosures, the defense to the state to the defense. There was an entire schedule in that pretrial and trial order that directed responses at certain times and information that was to be exchanged between the parties. The second section of this document, page 2, sentence 2, continues as follows. This specific request for additional materials related to ICR, that is Idaho Criminal Rule 16C, ladies and gentlemen, came for the first time on April 2nd, 2025. Mr. Kohberger responds specifically to Part 2, Section 1 of the state's response. Next paragraph states, upon agreement from the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, the requested test materials will be provided between the doctors directly. Dr. Orr will provide testing data to the state's expert, and the name is redacted, who is a licensed psychologist. This method of disclosure is in compliance with the APA Ethics Code Standard 9.04 and 9.11. Dr. Orr must adhere to these ethical standards in releasing test materials, including protocols, test items, etc. Dr. Orr will work directly with, and the name is redacted, to transfer the requested materials once contact information has been exchanged. Dated this 10th day of April, 2025, Ann C. Taylor Law, on behalf of Mr. Kohberger. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone podcast. Thank you for joining us here today.